Welcome to the next chapter with Jen Bryan. Today, I am joined by Kristy Harris. Thank you so much for joining us, Kristy.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on, Jen.
I am so excited. So you are pretty well known in California and across the United States as an alopecia advocate. So you've been able to educate and help so many others that have gone through similar struggles. Can you give us a little bit of background on how that came to be and how your journey has unfolded?
Sure. So alopecia, just to let everybody know, is an autoimmune condition, and it's in your skin, and it has to do with hair loss. And what happens is you have a white blood cell count that's higher, and it's kind of an effect where you're allergic to your own hair. So your hair follicles reject the hair growth, and the hair falls out. So alopecia has three categories. Alopecia totalis, which is just is hair loss on the head only. Alopecia areata is the most common and very common in women and men, and we don't really talk about it, but we should, because it's a very common problem, and it's okay to have it. It's okay to cover it up. It's okay to not cover it up. But it's a patchy loss, and usually people will have either one spot where they'll have absolutely no hair. It'll be like very bald in one spot, or it'll be multiple spots all over their head. Or there's a third kind of alopecia, which is what I've had and struggled with, is alopecia universalis, which is total all over your body hair loss. So most of the time, no leg hair, no hair under my arms, which is kind of nice. And but even sometimes no hair in your nose to protect you from dust and things like that. So it can be kind of a struggle.
How did you become diagnosed with that? And was it a gradual process?
Well, I had a drug reaction when I was 24 or 5. I can't remember what year that was exactly. But 3 months after I got out of the hospital, it was a very severe immune reaction to an antibiotic I was taking for acne. And so when I got out of the hospital about 3 months later, I started losing my hair. And I actually first noticed it on my arm. I looked down one day and there was like no hair on my arm. I'm like, what the heck? And so then I noticed my eyebrows and my eyelashes were falling out. And then my hair was falling out too. And I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I was actually really concerned I might have cancer or something like that. I didn't know. And so I went to a dermatologist, and they took a small piece of scalp, which is algae. It does really hurt when they do a biopsy of your head, your scalp. And they diagnosed it. They looked under the microscope and saw all the stars lined up that I had alopecia. They saw all the symptoms. So when you are diagnosed, they don't really know what it's going to be like, how severe you're going to have it, or if your hair is going to grow back. So immediately I started getting treatments, things like a UV light with a pill, that anything to make those white blood cells die down and stop attacking my hair follicles. Okay. So it was a myriad of treatments that I went on, but ultimately, I think I had total loss within 3 months, and I spent a lot of money trying to grow my hair back, but nothing really ever worked. And there's no cure. There's a brand new spanking new treatment out now. It's a JAK inhibitor. I'm not really interested in trying it, because once you start taking drugs, there are side effects, and then there are just weight gain or weight loss. You just start throwing things in, and then you're fighting fire with fire. And I've found a healthy balance, and I'd just rather live my life. So no treatments anymore for me, thanks.
That's so amazing, because in a society that is so consumed with looks and being able to have the perfect hairdo, when you're losing your hair and don't have control of it, that has to be extremely hard as a woman, like when we're so judged on our physical appearance.
Yeah, for sure. what I really love now is I've found a line of wigs that I like, and I found a way to do my makeup that I like, and my eyelashes and everything. And I can just put myself together. And honestly, nobody knows unless I choose to tell them.
That's so amazing. And you just had a monumental birthday recently. Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
I thank you. I just turned 45. So yeah, I'm just trying to age gracefully now. I get a little bit of help. I do Botox, and I'm on a good diet and exercise program. But other than that, this is what it look like.
Well, you are gorgeous. So I love that you've been able to embrace it and help so many other people overcome their fears associated with alopecia, because the unknown is scary for anybody, much less your physical appearance being affected. And your most recent birthday, so you kind of surprised everybody, and being able to embrace your appearance and do what you did for your 45th birthday is absolutely amazing. Can you tell the viewers what that looked like?
Yeah, so I decided I was thinking about doing the thing that I did back in February. And so I've recently really fallen in love with weightlifting. And it's a sport where, you can be mildly involved in it and it can just be an element in your workout, or you can go all in. And as a sport, women's weightlifting has been coming up lately, and there's a category called Bikini. And so I decided I would like to do that. And so I was in my very first bikini competition on June 11th, last Saturday, to coincide with my 45th birthday. I figured I would be the youngest in my age division, having just turned 45, and I would be the tallest in my bikini A category, up to 5'1" and 5'1". But I showed up there and there were 11 other women to compete against. So it was very hard. And it was very humbling, but everybody there was beautiful and everybody deserved to be on that stage. We put in all the work. Bikini is really a sport. It is a bodybuilding sport, and it takes a lot of training, physical training, and the diet is another element in and of itself. And it's actually one of the most important things. So there's a lot involved.
Absolutely. And you had many years of, we were both runners, and you had your cooking blog, and you've done like so much writing and everything. So to be able to showcase yourself and put yourself out there, was that like a new adventure? Was it scary? Like, how did you feel?
Yeah, it was very scary. I didn't tell anybody for that reason. I didn't, when you're doing bikini and you're for the first time, I would say you have a lot of doubts, and you feel like, for me, I felt like kind of I had imposter syndrome. I felt like sometimes, what am I doing? Do I even belong here? Because I've obviously seen pros at shows, and then I've seen other competitors who are just phenomenal with there's a whole other element too I didn't mention, which is posing. You have to do posing, and you're scored on your posing. And I had no experience whatsoever. I'm not a dancer. I'm not a poser. I'm not, but I felt like imposter syndrome. I felt like a poser. I felt like, what am I doing here? I don't even belong here sometimes. And then sometimes I'd have a really great workout and I'd be like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then over the 12-week training period, you do really change. Your body starts to change if you're doing it right. And then eventually by the end of the training period, you're ready. You're ready to get up there if you're doing it right.
Where do you find the strength and courage to put yourself out there? I mean, first of all, I've seen articles that like have showcased you in alopecia, and then being able to put yourself out there to train and like go to a contest. I mean, I feel like you get braver and braver as the years go by, and being vulnerable and putting yourself out there.
I think part of that comes in with getting older and more mature, and not really caring what other people think about me, and having to be happy with myself at the end of the day. And then having also a very supportive partner and a husband that loves me very much and loves me for who I am, and actually is very supportive of my little endeavors that I take on. So um, he was there the whole time, and some of it wasn't great. I mean, we had to miss a lot of events we got invited to, and I wasn't his drinking buddy for months. Like, it was hard. We loved to dine out, and we weren't doing that either. So it's sometimes it's harder on the significant other than it is on the contestant. But as far as putting myself out there, I feel like, why not? Like, life is to be lived and life is to be enjoyed. And um, it's just been such an adventure. So I love doing things like this.
Do you think you're going to compete in more of these like fitness contests?
I would love to. I had a very good experience. I think I came in last in true novice, because I was like two categories. So one's true novice, meaning you've never done a contest before, you're new to it truly. And then my 45 and up division, I think I came in next to last. But the thing is, it was my first time out, and I think it was great that I even got up there. And I could be super hard on myself. My routine was not perfect. I have a lot of work to do, but I believe if I don't do it again, I'll never get good at it. So, I mean, I would look forward to competing again. It's a lot of hard work, but I'm a hard worker, so I would love to eventually do it again.
What advice would you give to your younger self or somebody that's struggling with self-worth? Whether it's their physical appearance or overcoming some sort of challenge in their personal life or career-wise, like what advice would you give them? Because you're so strong in who you are.
It's funny. I don't really feel like that's true. But just look within yourself and um know that, I mean, I don't know if there are a lot, I don't know if people believe in God or not, like out there listening, but I mean, I do. And like, I talk to God a lot, and I find strength in prayer. And I have, like I said, I have a good relationship with my husband, and there's a lot of strength in that. But for younger people who like aren't married, I mean, maybe talk to family members, and knowing that a lot of family members, they love you for who you are. I mean, or your friends, your close friends, if you don't have loving family members, because some people don't, talk to your friends and get a support system. And if you don't even have that, look into counseling even. I mean, find a support system, because you are worth it and you deserve life and everything it has for you.
That's so amazing. And, for those of us who struggle with self-worth and self-esteem and being able to kind of put ourselves out there and be vulnerable, I feel like you've done such a great job of doing that and being so open and honest with your journey with alopecia. And now with like you did your cooking, your blogging, your writing, your journey, like, fitness, and now you're doing these competitions. Like, what do you see like for yourself? Like, what comes next? What's the next chapter look like for Kristy now?
Well, I'm looking for professional work now. I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I don't know how anybody competes in a competition like I did and works full time and has a full family to take care of. These women are amazing. I'm just some part-time job person who found the time, carved out the time. I mean, I didn't have anything better to do. Let me put it that way. So I was like, okay, I'll do a competition. We'll train for that. But now I'd like to get a job and be in an office setting, and maybe, go back to work full time. So I've been interviewing for positions over the last couple of weeks, and still looking. So that, and I would like to turn my food, wine, and travel blog. I'm gonna shift a little bit the focus. It's still gonna be wonderfully food, wine, travel. I would like to maybe put more of a fitness spin on it, just because most of my life is just that's what's important to me. You know, keeping a healthy weight, exercise, eating healthfully and mindfully, things like that, logging my food, keeping a food journal, things like that.
So I'm personally curious, and I know the viewers are as well, like what did your diet and like exercise routine look like to be able to train for this competition?
So before I go into that, I have to put the disclaimer on that it's different for everyone. So if you have, I didn't have that much weight to actually lose to be in the competition. I started out, pretty lean already. And I'm just going to briefly mention weight as relative to me because it's different for everybody. But I was about 120 pounds. I'm 5'1" when I decided to compete. And my stage weight was about 105. So I didn't really take off that much weight. I think a lot of weight came off my face and probably here up top. But other than that, like my legs and my arms, I carved out pretty good. They're pretty muscular now, and that's good. But as far as my routine, I was training myself for a while, which a first time competitor, if you're going to be a serious competitor, you probably shouldn't coach yourself. So I finally hired somebody 4 weeks into it with 9 weeks remaining. I had a trainer, and her name's Jody Yunker, and she's with Fit Body Fusion. And with her, we had a diet plan, and it would change. So as you lose weight, your calories decrease so that you can continue to get stage ready and lose weight. And the workout routine kind of remained the same, although you try to lift as much as you can to build the muscle, but then at the end, for me, I was on a very restricted calorie limit. And so it was hard to do exercises that were really gonna build muscle because we were trying to take off fat. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks different for everybody. Obviously, the pros are on much higher calories because their bodies are already where they need to be when they cut. And so it's like, I don't know. But as far as the weights, I had a body split. So on one day you will do like shoulders, triceps, and maybe some back exercises. And then on another day, you will do all glute and hamstring exercises. And I was on about a 3-day-a-week glute and hamstring program because that was my really weak area. That's the area where the butt, and they want a rounded look and they want some separation in the hamstrings in the back for a bikini contest. And I didn't have any of that. And so I really started in not a very good look for a bikini contest. And that's what I need the help in. So we came a long way. I can say that though. So I'm proud of where I got.
That's so inspiring, to be honest, as someone that like has struggled with their weight as well over the years, like for you to put yourself out there and be so disciplined with your food, diet, exercise, I commend you because it is no easy feat.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I'll say I thought the hardest thing was going to be not drinking. Because as soon as I hired my coach, Jody, I had already cut my drinking because I knew like calorically and just, you can't drink and train to be in a competition. It just doesn't go together. And so I was already tapered down to drinking every other day. And I was like, well, I'll cut my drinking completely like 2 weeks to go. That's not how it works. When I met Jody, she said, I'd like to ask you to stop drinking completely. We have a lot of work to do. And I said, I don't know if I can do that, but I will try. And I did. I stopped, and I thought I couldn't do it, and I thought it would be awful, and I thought I wouldn't enjoy my life, and I thought, well, I really didn't do a lot of social stuff. I actually thought maybe I would be tempted at first, so I completely stopped dining out and going to parties or concerts or anything like that. So because I just didn't want to be tempted. But at the end of like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I ended up going to a friend's house a couple of times. One was a brunch. I just brought my own food and a couple of sodas, diet sodas. And then I went back the next weekend and brought my own food and drink again, and it was fine. Like it was great. And I had a blast. And then even my husband and I went to a gathering right before the contest, and I brought my own food again. So it's very doable to still be social. If you keep your food journal accurate, weigh your food, and take your own beverages. And like a picnic, you just take your own food and drink. It's very doable.
That's so amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Kristy, thank you so much for joining us today. I know I learned a ton, and I know our viewers did too. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and tune in next week to the next chapter for Jen Bryan.
Thank you, Jen. I'll see you later.